So I felt like I needed to make a short video about float fishing strike indicators, when it's appropriate to use them and when it's not appropriate, what you want in a float for different applications. And since I had just recently bought these illuminated lighting floats, figured I'd do a segment on it. So floats, when I think of a float, I'm thinking I'm going to want to use a float because I want that bait near the surface of the water, in the top water column. I'm never going to use a float for anything that's excessively deep, meaning like more than, if my line's going to be 10 feet beneath the float, I might not use that float, you know, unless it's like a river or something. But generally it's going to be something like one of these glass bubbles, plastic bubbles. These floats work pretty good. Weighted floats, you have these more extreme weighted floats. Every float comes in a variety of sizes, but then you have the light up floats, which I'm going to see how they are effective in that sense. See if the fish can be stimulated both visually as well as with whatever scent the bait is putting out. But stick floats and weighted floats, the bobbers and strike indicators, lots of different kinds of floats. They're all great. Usually when I fish a float, I'd probably use like a hook like this, because I fish worms often. But when the fish are in the top water column, that's when floats are your go-to. That's when floats are lethal. I have a video of me catching a trout on Trial Lake, but there was a night when as it was getting dark, the fish were starting to just come alive on the top of the water. It was a boil, and so I took a float, this same kind, just quite larger, and then I put power bait on it, and they were just hitting it like mad, like fighting super aggressive. It was strange. They were hitting it way harder than they normally did. So those are the applications of float fishing. And then research rigs, because often when you cast a float with your line, it'll tangle and your hook will be up on your main line when it hits the water, and that's not doing any good, or it'll be right next to the float. So I hope this was helpful. I'll see you guys on the water.